Respect and love from the world, nigga. Show them. Più nigga on a microphone. Can't wait sitting and for everything. Rock you in the studio. Bomba, claro. ¿De qué manera sufre el alma cuando alguien se va? No hay medicina que cure esa larga enfermedad. La vitamina de la vida en esta sociedad es tan divina que por nombre tiene libertad. Libérate de la mentira que está por llegar. Mide tu orgullo antes de empezar a hablar. Cierra la puerta a quien no merezca entrar, porque hay mucho que se fue y sueña con regresar. Hablemos en silencio y así no me mentirás. El poder de la palabra muere cuando hablan de más. No me fío de oraciones que se dicen por detrás. Si me miras a los ojos no te mentiré jamás. Que besar por besar es jugar por jugar. Y vivir sin amor es vivir sin amar. Solo queda la fe, solo queda soñar. Ponte de pie, ready para luchar. Some love, I can just smoke and there are some love them. I can just smoke and the light some love. I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day. Cali with a farmer soul, yeah. ¿De cuánto tiempo hablamos cuando hablamos de querer? Si la mitad lo malgastamos solo en comprender. ¿De qué manera es más fácil aprender? Que nacemos para ganar y morimos al perder. No puedo dejar de animarte, que cuando te caigas debes levantarte. Llegué para contarte que no todo artista muere por su arte. Traigo el honor de un humano con valor que utiliza poesía para respirar mejor. Escribo prosa para vengar al amor y recuerda aquella rosa que tiraron al contenedor. ¿Dónde se quedó el amor? Hey, I know I sit on no microphone forever, never. Tell me, roll some love. I can just smoke and the light, some love them. I Rastafari my life, some love. I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day. Cali with a farmer soul, yeah. Reggae man a farmer warrior day. Not a really thing. Oh, yeah, man. Y se piensa que la música es un juego, lo lleva claro, hermano. Desde España, internacional, bombo, clack, you, Lego. Not so really easy. No. Pure nigga on a microphone. Hey, tell us what. Tell us anything. Tell if I'm a Rasta feeling on my sin. Hey, more love.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Muero porque toques el cielo, pero no el suelo, así que créetelo. Quítate el velo velozmente, bro. Vívete tu sueño, pero despierta a la hora que toca. Esa hora, motherfucker, wake up. Yo me meo en tu cubata antes. Bebo, matar ratas con tan. Vaya al bosque a lo Tarzán mientras enlazan. Fraternidad en casa con su polo colistera estrenan. Se han dejado en el desván de su pensar un mar de ideas. Con grandes ideas ardiendo en chimeneas antiguas. Ríe Dios al ver que te santiguas. Su mente y su luz son ambiguas como mi voz. Lo que para ti es un don, para mí una misión fija. Mis versos son de ninja, tu poesía pa' fijas. Que no te fijan, que hay más allá del cristal. La matriz hipnotiza, mi energía os hace trizas. Yo en mi nave nodriza, comiendo pizza con piña, moldeo taroides, vórtices. Con mi mente arborescente, junto con Isis y Milo es para crear Pegasus en ese perro. Cánticos lemurianos me hacen sentir como en mi hogar la noche se avecina y se afilan colmillos de vampiras psíquicas. Frecuencias del malestar las alimentan. Nuestro deber es tenerlas raquíticas. Bazookas espaciales latadas con la función del sol central, causando desinformaciones bíblicas. Todo lo existente es relativo, o al menos la materia que te describo. Soy antipersonas como las minas y mino. La moral del que venga a negar lo que digo con la mira puesta en su ombligo. Si me retiro del partido que sea como Figo, conocidos en me la pela en verdad. Si en mi barrio me conocen más que tú a tu enamorada. No hay payasos, solo en anémonas de gargolada Andrómeda eres. Conserva tus células primigenias o no podrás volar. El virus se llevó a unos cuantos, pero el ego a más. Se elevó el más a la opulencia, digo ciencia. Debajo el Satanás en el espejo, Jesucristo la conciencia del flow. La tierra y su paz están vibrando. Los sentimientos son la trampa que están manejando. Los hilos de los cuales tú y tu ego estáis medio colgando. No es que yo sea un superdotado, ni tú un tonto. Solo lo que tú sabes de mierda yo sobre el cosmos. Que lo estudio y profundamente sano me lo tomo. Si no ya hubiera ido a visitar al doctor, porque no soy devoto, mucho menos un santo. Yo jamás puto, pero dale que asalto. Cuando en verdad sé que tendría que sudarme todo la polla, pero pienso que hay que vivir por algo. Que en el letargo cure lo enfermo, sabor amargo, remedio eterno. Me pregunto a toda esa gente que le he hecho y canalizo desde el cielo un verbo así hecho, bro.
Damn, that intro never, ever, ever gets old for me. I don't think it ever will. All praises to the brother that gave me that, man. Appreciate you for the source. Anyhow, shalom family. Hope y'all doing well. Listen, it's a live class, but what I'm doing is I'm cutting a piece of yesterday's class that a couple people mentioned to that was a good point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a good portion and show y'all the ending because it makes a lot of sense because it was technically almost like a two-topic type of deal. So I want brothers and sisters to catch the message that you might have not caught at the beginning because the class was like about 2 hours and change. Appreciate you guys even taking the time, you brothers and sisters, for even watching it, man. All praises to the Most High because it isn't about me. It's about the book. I'm glad I'm able to bring some clarity and bring connections and bring visuals of our book for us to understand that in that book we are there. Okay, so I want y'all to understand that. And if y'all don't like my button thing, man, oh well, move on. Anyhow, fam, I do want to say this though because I want to bring up some important topics. Appreciate you, brother, for bringing this up. I don't know who this brother is. I've seen him before. I'm not gonna lie. I think I saw him. Well, no, I can't remember where. But I know that he was talking about our people. So there's a lot that I agree with him, except the ending. So in this channel, we know that the ending that he says isn't necessarily the ending that we really should have been taught, because there's a portion of history that hasn't been taught to us. Okay, so let's listen in. And by the way, family, shalom. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Appreciate you guys. You that are here going to hear live, and you're going to be watching later on. I also appreciate you brothers, you brothers and sisters too, that are going to be watching this radio. This channel later on, or this video later on, man. All praises to the Most High that you at least get a chance to either watch it now or watch it later. Either way, man, I hope it's edifying and that it brings a lot of knowledge into your mind and a lot of wisdom into your spirit. Because technically, family, remember this: if we can discipline our spirit, the material world isn't as hard. Remember, principalities and powers are who we are in battle with. That cannot be changed. That cannot be sometimes understood. So you need the Bible to help us understand that. All right. So let's begin. This is what I got for y'all. All right. Check it.
You know what plantation?
Hold on. All right. Here we go. And then I got some material to read to y'all. Okay. Let's listen in.
And they've never shown us, Abby, the most prominent ones, the ones that were most profitable, the breeding plantations. Why don't you want to show us those? You know why? Because after the research that I did for this album, you realize that the moment that a girl menstruated, she was put in a stable where a horse would be and forcibly mated, by a male of the slave master's choice. And when she had children, they weren't called children, they were called a litter of pups. The punishment, being or killing a person in medieval Spain, is gelding. Gelding is when you take hot pincers and you take a man's balls and dick off root and stem. Killing a person, law of the Bible, right? Medieval Spain, super religious. You killed a man, he should be killed. Why were indigenous and black people categorized as subhuman? So under the law, you would not be punished for the things that you did to us. That's why. You used to be proud, right? You used to be proud, white America, of murder. You used to be proud of colonization. You used to, wow, that made us tough. And then you got ashamed of it. And that's what you're dealing with. That's what America's dealing with, a schizophrenic crisis. There's a British manual, right, that was taken out of the British Museum because within the manual, it talked about how it was a weapon of war that should be used against the indigenous population. You're ashamed of that now. You're ashamed, right? Who was Christopher Columbus? His image has been so whitewashed, but he was trafficking little girls on an island. Who does that sound like, huh? All you right-wing defenders of Christopher Columbus and his legacy, he was trafficking 9-year-old indigenous girls on an island. Who does that remind you of, you intellectual coward? Just because liberals are dog shit doesn't mean that you shake hands with the devil, right? The same way I tell people all the time who are white working class people who hear about reparations for black people and automatically get upset. You know, they hear the word Africa and they're furious already. But the problem is this. The money doesn't come from you. No, it comes from the financial institutions that banked and built their stock exchange on labor, on the payback that they got from slavery. Because reparations is not actually what African people are asking for in this country. African American people are asking for the other half of reparations. You see, America already paid reparations at the end of the Civil War to slave owners.
Let's not forget, family, that the slave owners came in different shades. Okay, this is where I don't agree with the brother, because a lot that he says is true, but as you can see, a lot that he's saying also is institutionalized to us to believe that. Let's let him finish, and then we'll move on.
They gave them money per black person that they let free, and they refused to honor the people that were actually victimized. So until you do that, you will always be cursed, America. And you can call me a communist, a socialist, but you know what? It doesn't matter what you call me. You know that I'm right? And you know that I stand more for indigenous rights than I do for the European. I stand more for indigenous rights than I do for that. I stand more for indigenous rights than I do for the European interpretation of a left-wing ideology that doesn't always work in a cookie-cutter scenario when you plug it into Latin America. Because at the end of the day, that was still being pushed by two large governmental entities that wanted to challenge the United States' control of the region. We're tired of being pawns.
I'm telling you, family. So he's got a message. And you know, quite frankly, it's almost like when I was involved in the 12 tribe chart thing. I didn't see it all yet. Maybe the Most High, Lord willing, will lead him in either one of these channels that actually brings facts, not stories. Facts, not entertainment. Regardless of how my style is of bringing stuff out, it's not entertainment, fam. It's how my mind works. Okay. Let's see. So now I got to remind you guys of something. The reason I call this class the Black Pestilence, right? Actually, I thought I changed the name. Huh. Let me see something. On the bottom, it says the African American Pestilence of 1492. There's a reason why I named it that way. Okay? There's a reason why, fam. Remember the exorcism. The priest has to find out what the wicked spirit name is. Tell me your name, damn demon. You know them the movies, right? Tell me your name. I need to know your name. Then like, you know, they come out with a crazy name, right? And they all get all twisted out. And this is what's going on now. You see, this is why I don't know if I really touched on. I think I did touch on this subject about 2 months ago, because you got this so-called brother. I don't know, man. He's questionable. From ISUBK, the light-skinned dude. He says he's our people. Kind of whitish, but I don't know. Something about that brother. Anyway, so I guess he has a talk with Whack 100. Whack 100 just obliterates his ass, embarrasses him, and just talking shit, you know, straight up. Now, I don't know who this fool is, but I'll call him a fool because that's what you are. Straight up. My camera is available. My pictures are there. I don't give a damn who you are, man. Because I know deep down inside that regardless of what shade you are, you're still an enemy. And you're not our people. I'm going to say that for a fact. In this channel, we are separating sheeps or wolves that are among sheeps. We're not sitting behind anymore. And I like the fact that this brother here spoke out. Now, he's all into politics. Hey, that's his thing. Can't convince a brother to get out of politics. They just have to either be woken or not. But you got to learn and you got to use pieces of other people's understanding of life so then you can make it clear as to what message you got. Let me show y'all. You see, the spirit is coming out. And quite frankly, man, our gente is tired, bro. We're tired. We got damn Canaanites, man. We fought Edomites for a long time. We fought, then we didn't even know that we were fighting Canaanites for a long time, disguised as Edomites. Yes, you've heard this in this channel. So now let's listen into what this brother's saying. Again, I don't watch this guy's American. Look, I don't even subscribe to him, but every now and then I'll catch something that he says, something. I'll peep in. This caught my attention. So now I'm going to tell you other people of other tribes. You're the biggest baby when it comes to a so-called white man saying racist comments. You're the biggest baby, yelling, screaming, kicking like a child. Oh, and you want reparations and civil rights and law, and we don't mess with nobody. Leave us alone, right? You're so good at pointing the finger at other people, but you never see your shit. You see, in this channel, I know that on our continent, several of us, historically, and now we know that spiritually it's connected, we were keeping the laws of God. So we know that we do have that in us. And as a nation of people, we are here together to protect each other, which is what the conquistadors did in order to destroy us. They separated us. Okay? So let's listen into this shit. Here we go. I'll use a few minutes.
Shenanigans for always doing the over the top shit to get attention. Well, he's back at it. This time he was on Clubhouse, where I think that's one of his platforms.
That's where he was having that so-called debate with that cat that hangs around with that dude Tazariak. Right? Anyway, let's go.
Where people go and they talk all the shit they do, and it's just a bunch of fucking guys and women screaming, sounding like fools. I don't mess with that platform. But he was going back and forth with you guys all know C Mac, Crip Mac. His I don't know if it's his girl, his manager. I don't know. I really don't care. I want to say her name is Lupe. And he started getting into it, and the racial slurs start flying out. Some out of his mouth, some out of some other fucking dirtbag's mouth. Let's hear it. Let's go from there.
I want y'all to pay attention. You see, the Great Awakening is happening, family. The Great Awakening is happening. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The biggest cat is waking up. Do you understand this? And I'm glad that this is actually being talked about now, because finally I hear someone else mentioning these things. Now, some of my brothers are still in that institutionalized history. So we need to clear that shit up from their brain. And several of our brothers and sisters are stuck in these stupid camps. And we need to clear and pray for these brothers and sisters. Hopefully they repent and get the hell out of these damn demons and spirits. Because there's only one thing these men are doing. They're interested in the 12 tribe chart. They said it themselves. They hate their women, family. Why do you think they're in it, brother? Come on, man. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
There. Like I said, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so just bear with me here. Saying that's a guy named Mexican Beast from San Bernardino. I can't confirm or deny this, but if he is a Mexican from San Bernardino, that fool got that issue coming. For coming here like a dumb motherfucker and sitting here and being used by somebody like Whack 100 to be his scapegoat to make those racial comments.
Yep.
Could you imagine me having beef with an African American lady and me having a brother on board just to call her the ER word, not the A, the ER word, and say FUER, because that's
I mean, F you, nigger, like that, man. What is so hard about saying it? Because it's so hard. It's so easy for them to call us spicks, beaners, wetbags. Go back to your country, which is ironic that they say that because y'all are not from here. Anyhow, let's continue. Because me personally, I didn't grow up saying that word. All right, I'm from the 90s. I was born in the 70s, right? I was a teenager, young man in the 90s. We didn't talk like that. Raza did not talk like that. People nowadays do. Let's go.
That's exactly what's going on over here. Let's keep rolling.
Bitch, you ain't even running your mouth. You been itching to say something. Bitch, you been itching to say
Got this
something.
fat ass way. Go get a torta,
You always
bitch.
coming in.
Again, you got this fat ass wetback. Go get a torta, bitch. Still going. Remember, this is his platform. That would be like me getting somebody on American Cholo to say the foul.
Somebody in American Cholo say, "Man, shut your black ass up, man. Go get yourself a banana and a watermelon. While you're at it, you know what? Bring me some Kool-Aid at the well." Straight up. But see, if a white man said that, y'all niggas would be like upside down. But again, tell me your name, demon. Tell me your name. Anyways, that's a joke. Let's go.
All vile shit that's coming out of these people's mouths.
Inserting yourself. You over there with 17 families in one house, bitch. 8 roaches eating up everything.
You over there with now this is whack 100. You over there with 17 families, bitch, with 8 roaches. He's over here, of course, being the big stereotype garbage that he does. Now, again, imagine for 1 second, and I say this stuff not to sit here and degrade African Americans. I say it so people will understand. It would be like me saying, you fucking ghetto ass, welfare ass, and just going on through all the nasty stereotypes that we all have as minorities. Even white people have it. Everybody has the nastiest stereotypes. But Whack 100 says it so easily without any regards for any repercussion because he thinks he's untouchable. Whack 100 thinks he.
No, not because he thinks he's untouchable. It's because black people think they're untouchable. They don't go because we can't be racist because we don't pass laws. We can't be racist. Whatever you want to fucking call it. Excuse my language. Prejudice, racist, whatever, man. The real point is what you're doing. This is the spirit of Esau, fam. I told you in this channel. I'm telling you, fam. I'm telling you, these conquistadors were white and black. And right here, we see a very clear description of a spirit hating a spirit. What the hell did we do to this man? What did we do to him? I'm sure nobody's bugged this dude. I'm sure no Mexican stole from him. What, some lady do it? What? I don't know, man. But you know what, fam? In this channel, we need to find out who we are according to the Bible. And the Bible says, as Israel, we must separate from these nations. So this is a good example. So when somebody tries to bring up this whole concept of 12 tribe chart, you're a part of the 12 tribe chart, whatever, 12 tribe chart, whatever, right? Say, okay. So what about all these other individuals that had slaves? How do they fit into the curses if they look just like you? Wait, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
He is untouchable. He believes that nothing can come near to him.
You know what, family? That's so dumb. The whole time, man, I was reading. The whole time I was reading. I hate when I do that. I'm so sorry, fam. I'm so sorry. But what I was saying, man. Oh, wait, maybe it wasn't meant to be for me to hear that, to say that. But, you know, I thought I was going somewhere with this. Let me read it again. All right. I was going through Revelation 18 and 4. And that's the reason why I brought this out. In case I didn't get to read this to you guys. Right here, right? I mentioned that when it comes to pestilence, there's all kinds of pestilence, fam. Right now, the mental pestilence is the one that I'm fighting for. And I'm using the material that is given to me by the Most High so then I can show y'all the mental pestilence and how a lot of these people had a lot to do with our current state of mind, which is why the Bible says, Revelation 18 and 4, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins and that ye receive not of her plagues. Okay? So it says here, Psalms 18, it says, when thou saw the thief, then thou consented with him and has been partakers with adulterers, meaning if you're part of his movement, you are also part of the sin. Just like Jeremiah 17:5 says, thus say the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man and make flesh his arm. So you're going to go vote? Regardless of what nationality you are, and you go vote, guess what? Cursed be the man that trusted in man. Yeah, I know, man. That's weird, dude. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. It's just weird stuff that it happens on this. All of a sudden, it just stops and it like mutes on me. I didn't even see that. It's crazy. Anyhow, thus say the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. So you brothers and sisters out there thinking about voting, that's going to solve the problem. You're thinking about being cool with these people because they're going to like you more or being more respectful or being more, nah, man. It's perpetual hate, family. Canaan, Phoenician, all Psalms 83 hates our people. Okay? Keep that in mind. Everybody now is coming with the real spirit. Listen, fam, there's 3 nations of people that we're clearly identifying. We know that the white man had something to do with slavery. We know that the Arab man has something to do with slavery. And now we know that the black man has something to do with slavery. You know what I'm saying? So slowly, Psalms 83 is coming to fruition. Slowly, Psalms 83 is becoming clear to us. Now, I have material and books that show who the Moabites and Ammonites are, okay? I'm not concerned with them right now. Right now, I'm coming after Canaan. I'm destroying Canaan's damn doctrine. Because as you can see in this channel, I don't have anybody coming over here telling me you're wrong, your books are wrong. Those are not real books. You printed them yourself. That's a lie. We never enslaved nobody. We're part of the book. Deuteronomy 28. Look at us. We never knew the white man. We never knew their religion. Well, on contraire, mon frere, Nate the Snake said that you guys, and not only him, several camp leaders said that Yah ruled Europe and that they are Israelites. So when you connect yourself to them, it opens up my mind, and then I investigate them. Then I find out that they're not Israelites, that they're damn Africans, just like you.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Straight up. Who the F are you? I mean, for real. That's just, you know, and I was talking to my wife about this. I'm like, man, it's just, everything gets more interesting and more interesting. It's like, who? Like the little girl. Who? I mean, like, here it goes.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Straight up. Who are you, Mr. Black Man? Who are you, Mrs. Black Man, Mrs. Black Woman? So I say to y'all, cursed be the man that trusted in man and make flesh his arms. That 12-tribe chart is made by man. You will not find that in the Bible, okay? So you're trusting man. You're trusting an African from the Phoenician possible bloodline who's riding on a horse, who thinks he's John the Baptist himself, maybe even, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. But he sure as hell presents himself like he is above and beyond a human form of an individual. I would never, in my even effed up mind that I've come to understand, to even equate myself with that level to the Most High or to any of the saints. Because look, I read this the other day, fam, and this scripture here put my ass in check, and it was a blessing too, also because I really think through this growth. Hold on, let me see it. Where is it at? Hold on. Is it Job? Had to be Job. Hold on, maybe I have it in my notes. Give me a second, family. I believe I do have it in my notes. Oh, here it goes. Yeah, I was there. See, that's why, fam, you can't be boastful, man. No, let me read that real quick for you, brother. You hit on a mark. Institutionalized education is set to keep us asleep, to be ashamed of our primitive, ignorant, cannibal, and human sacrifices. Just recently found officially those claims are all false. Yeah, all praises, bro. If you can help me out with some of that info, method, I'll even collaborate with you on doing a class with it. That'd be amazing, brother. That's why I've been well, I'll send you an email, man. That'd be amazing, bro. But let me read this real quick, okay, fam? Check this out. Because this is why when I come with these scriptures and I come with these classes, man, in the back of my mind, I'm very mindful. Job 15 and 14. What is man that he should be clean? And he which is born of a woman, that he should be righteous. That's an important verse right there. Why should we be clean? Okay, starts off like that. Then it says, behold, he put it no trust in his saints. Yea, listen, he put it no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. So now he's first saying, why should man be clean? He's born of a woman, and we know Genesis 3:16, what it says, that he should be righteous. Behold, he put it no trust in his saints. Yea, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water. A ver, and you think you have the right to get on a horse and claim to be this great prophet of the Bible? When the Bible here says it ourselves, even the great Job said, how much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water, which is why in verse 14 it says, what is man that he should be clean? Because we're filthy, fam. That's why I'm mindful of it. I'm mindful of it. So when I bring this up, I don't bring it with arrogance. I don't bring it in either with ignorance, too. I bring it with facts, knowledge and understanding, and all praises to the Most High, the wisdom that he's provided with me. This is from American Holocaust, page 77. I wanted to set it up, and then I'm going to get into the class, and you will see the follow-up as to why I'm calling it the African American Pestilence of 1492, because we're going to see that this was in the Bible, as you guys know. Deuteronomy 28, you could talk about verse 22, verse, I believe, 27, verse 60, 51, or 50 or 60, I'm sorry, okay? For the sake of time, let me just read this. In retreat, however, Cortez left behind an invisible killer that would prevent the Aztecs from following and destroying his broken army, and that would begin the process of reckoning his revenge. The microscopic smallpox bacillus. Smallpox was a fearsome killer wherever it existed, but among a people with no previous exposure to the disease, it was catastrophic. It first appeared in the New World in 1518 on the huge and dying island of Hispaniola, a sort of dreadful coup de grace to the once enchanting place, dwelling few survivors. after being released among the Aztecs, wrote Cortez, Secretary Francisco Lopez de Gomorrah. Now we're going to read this later on too. It spread from one Indian to another, and they, being so numerous and eating and sleeping together, quickly infected the whole country. Listen, the whole country. In most houses, all the occupants died, for since it was their custom to bathe as a cure for all diseases, they bathed for the smallpox and were struck down. Look at this right here. This is Leviticus 26:31. Watch what it reads, okay? Watch this. I'm glad that I marked it down too. Leviticus 26:31, and it reads, it says, "And I will make your cities waste and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation, and I will not smell the savior of your sweet sour." And then this one here too, Deuteronomy 28, and then I believe it's 27 or 28, 26. "And thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away." Okay, so now we see this here. Those who did survive, having scratched themselves, were left in such a condition that they frightened the other with many deep pits on their faces, hands, and bodies. And then came famine, not because of a want of bread, but of meals. For the women did nothing but grind maize because 2 stones and baked it. The women then fell sick of the smallpox. Bread failed, and many died of hunger. The corpse stank so horrible that no one would bury them. The streets were filled with them. And it even said that the officials, in order to remedy this situation, pulled the houses down to cover the corpse. This happened to us, family. Okay? So now, this right here, you're going to read this. I'm going to read this later on. Okay? But let me show you something, fam. This is part of what I wanted to bring up yesterday here. So let's begin. It's going to be, hold on a second. Here we go. All right. This is the 10 tribes coming together to the 4th part of the earth, which is why in Jeremiah it says that I sent them there, which is why in Jeremiah it says that he actually sent enemies from somewhere else to attack us. And what were these enemies going to do? First of all, let's find out and remind ourselves these enemies, what they did. Okay? Let's not forget. This is what they did, fam. Let's remember. I read this to you guys the other day. This is from, I should have told you guys. My bad. The Little Matter of Genocide, Holocaust and Denial in America, 1492 to the present, by Ward Churchill, written in 1997, I believe. Yes. Page 1. Where is it at? This is what happened. I want y'all to remember, this is what happened to our gente, okay? It says, during the 4 centuries, spanning between 1492, when Christopher Columbus first set foot on the New World of a Caribbean beach, and 1892, it's 400 years, when the U.S. Census Bureau concluded that there were fewer than 250,000 indigenous people surviving within the country's claimed boundaries. A hemispheric population estimated to have been as great as 125 million was reduced by something over 90%. Basically, about 10 million people were left. The people had died in their millions of being hacked apart with axes. Let me repeat that. Hacked apart with axes and swords, burned alive, trampled under horses, hunted as game, and fed to dogs. Now, I want you to hold that thought. I want you to hold that thought for me. The fed to dogs part. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see. Oh, man. Give me a second here. See if I can find that video. I'm trying to look for a video here, fam. Let me see if it's this one, okay? Give me a second.
Bueno, el autor bien.
No, it's not it. Is it this one? I have a video, family, on
Bueno, el autor.
a sister of ours running from dogs. Let me see if I can find it. It's a very good. It's a very good video to reflect on, because let's see. See, is it this one? No, give me a second. I'm gonna find it. Give me a second. Give me a second. No, this isn't it. Let me see. Outcome broken spirit. Oh, it was a short video. Let me see if I can get it. Is this it? That's not it. Hold on. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. I'm just gonna probably move on, fam. That sucks. I wanted to show y'all something. It's a video that. Oh, wait, hold on. Is it that one? Yeah, hold on a second, fam. I think I know where to get it. Hold on a second. I was actually surprised that where are you? Where are you at? Videos. This one. Hold on a second, okay? So remember what it says. Remember what it says here. Let's go back in the thought. The people had died in their millions of being hacked apart with axes and swords, burned alive, and trampled on the horses, hunted as game, and fed to dogs. I'm going to be moving this video back and forth, okay? So you can see what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's what I mean, fam. Hunted as game and fed to dogs. Shot, beaten, stabbed, scalped for bounty, hanged on meat hooks, and thrown, listen to this, and thrown over the sides of ships at sea. So this is why you see this here. And I will do a class on it another day. But this is why one of our brothers couldn't connect it. But this is why it says this right here. Okay. 16, I think. Let's see. see. Wisdom. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. This is why it says it here. This is why this is said in this scripture. Ezekiel. Boom. So Ezekiel 28 is talking to who? For prophecy against the prince of Tyre, right? A lot of times we read this and we don't know why this says here, but it says Ezekiel 28:7. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Here's why. And let's continue. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Okay? So that's why when you see this here, intentionally thrown over the sides of ships at the sea. So we see now that the very same thing that they did to us, it was going to be not necessarily done to them, but they were going to die in that same fashion. Imagine you being thrown down the ship. Imagine the fear that you get knowing that you're going to be thrown down in that water with rocks, with many of our brothers and sisters. You're going to be tied down there, and it's just a matter of time before you fall into that water. That fear. Let's continue. Worked to death as slave laborers, intentionally starved and intentionally, okay? Not, it wasn't food, intentionally starved and frozen to death during the multitude of forced marches and internment. Do we not have internment camps still doing this to our gente? Is our gente not marching in multitudes? Aren't they not dying to like frozen to death? Are they not starving, crossing the desert? And in unknown numbers of instances, deliberately infected with epidemic diseases. That's the point right there. That's the point right there. Epidemic diseases. How I remember epidemic diseases, right? You guys recall that a lot of our people died because of that. So now we were told that because of these epidemic diseases, they enslaved so-called black folks. That's what we were told. But what if I told you, like I've told you before, that not only were they part of the slave pushers, they were also part of the smallpox epidemic. Seriously. Yes, I know it's going to blow your minds. Some of y'all are not going to believe what I'm about to show you right now. This epidemic disease, okay, that I'm talking about right now, is what crushed a lot of our people. This is why, as I'm learning about who these other nations are in the Bible, bring me to this. Just going to show you a little bit. Listen, family, these people here had a lot to do with our slavery. Don't be misinformed. It took two shades to conquer us. And the darker shade was also a slaver. I tried to find this book, okay? And I even tried to download it and I couldn't download it. It was like $15. So I was only able to find this page. I think I have page 130. All right. The Southern Carolina Historical Magazine, volume 76, number 3, 1975. It says here on page 129. Let me see if you guys can see it. Yeah, you guys can see it. It says here, okay? Carter G. Woodson founded the Association of the Study for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1915. John Hope Franklin has described the accomplishment as launching the era of the new Negro history. Okay. Let me skip a little bit here. Go to the bottom, last sentence. It is indeed true that Woodson exposed many myths about Black history. However, he may also be the creator of a myth. Watch this, fam. Undergraduate history students are usually amazed to learn of the large number of free Blacks in antebellum period. Graduate students are often surprised to learn that some of these, no, bullshit, excuse my language, but I'm going to say it like that. Lots of these free Blacks owned slaves. History professors are frequently skeptical when they hear the number of free Black slave holders and the number of slaves they owned. Indeed, in 1905, Booker T. Washington wrote, "My own personal recollection brings no case in mind of free Black men owning slaves, nor am I able to refer you to any book making reference to this phase of slavery in case it did exist. You effing liar." But we know how you guys are. You like to lie. Yet, at one time or another, free Blacks owned slaves in each of the 13 original states. Lee Cummings wasn't incorrect, by the way. And later in every state that countenanced slavery. Listen, Black folks, you cannot be the slave and the slaver. You can't be both. You're either one or you're not. It says here, where did some of these Black folks come from? Some had never been slaves. They had been here it goes. They had been indentured servants who had become free. I told you, that is the topic I have in hand. That's why I call it the Negro perpetual slave lie. However, we do know that the indentured servants
Wait a minute.
is true.
Who
We see it
are
here.
you?
They had been indentured servants who had become free. Some had purchased their freedom. Others were born of free parents, while some were born free by miscegenation, which I've shared with you guys too. Here we go. Slaves were also emancipated for meritorious military duty, for faithful service, and by last will and testament saving a life. Saving a life, advanced age, or infirmity, and other reasons. You see that, fam? Military, faithful service, by will, by testament, by saving a life, by age, or infirmities. What does that tell you? There's very many reasons. So a lot of them, like for example, if I hate to compare it like this, but if you have a dog and you go fight somebody, that dog is going to have your back, even though you're his master. You feed him, you do all of that, right? Well, if these guys were slaves, and we know that the white man came and took a lot of our lands, even in 1846, guess who fought next to the white man? How come that's not ever brought up? You guys complain so much that you were enslaved, but yet you had guns in your hand and you chose to shoot us and not them. I'm sorry if this is hurting some of your feelings. Oh, well, this ain't too far-fetched. This is not too far-fetched at all. Here, I'm going to show you. I had these already prepared, so I'll bring them up now. Let me hide this real quick. Watch this, family. This is from Virginia, the Old Dominion. Okay? Page 88, second paragraph. I brought this out before, but let's remind them. It says, the last of this month of August 1619, that marked the establishment of civil liberty and self-government, saw also the introduction of a new class of immigrant laborers. Okay, this is in 1619, fam. This is not in 1492. Okay, it says these were Negroes whose services, it now appears, were indentured servants. Were indentured. as in the case of whites from England and Europe. Previously, it had been generally accepted that they were sold to the colonists as slaves, while the bringing of them had been ascribed to the Dutch, which, by the way, the Dutch company was owned by King Charles, who authorized the translation of King James Bible. I'm having fun with the buttons now, fam. I'm throwing a lot of shots at these heathens. Recent research, however, has cast a new light upon the transaction. According to available records, these Negroes, let me repeat, okay? These Negroes may not with certainty be called slaves. What? Hold on a second. What? Hold on. What? According to the available records, these Negroes may not with certainty be called slaves. But why is that? Why is that, Joshua? I don't understand that. Let's continue. For there's no proof that their persons were held as property or on terms any different from those of white laborers whose services were engaged under public or private ownership for varying lengths of time. On the check it, family, check it. It reminded me of it. And by the way, Michigan, you reminded me of something too. So I'm gonna look into that. But check it. Where is it at? Right here. So I want you guys to be mindful. I had done a class on this several weeks back, and it kind of goes hand in hand with this topic. All right, so watch this. Talking about what I'm saying, all across the Americas, we had this. All right, here we go. So it's called La Leyenda Negra. All right, it's in Spanish. I'm gonna translate it in English as best as I can. Give me a second. Hold on. All right, here it goes. Right here. All right, ready, set, go.
Ejércitos del rey. Pero los que llegan a América no son un ejército. No son un ejército, ¿no? Son aventureros. Y después tenemos negros. Vienen esclavos. Y en las batallas los esclavos se defienden e incluso a veces protegen a sus amos y se ganan su libertad, ¿no? Y resulta que tenemos conquistadores negros, africanos, que reciben encomiendas, ¿sí? Reciben encomiendas. Y no tenemos uno o dos, tenemos muchos casos en todas las conquistas en América, en Norteamérica, en Centroamérica y en Sudamérica. ¿Sí? Reciben su libertad, ¿no? Y resulta que tenemos conquistadores negros, africanos, que reciben encomiendas, ¿sí? Reciben encomiendas. Y no tenemos uno o dos, tenemos muchos casos en todas las conquistas en América, en Norteamérica, en Centroamérica y en Sudamérica.
You see, fam? You see what I'm saying? So, as you can see, they were not indentured. I'm sorry, they were not perpetual. Nor were they really slaves. Right? Anyway, let's continue. Contrary, the evidence clearly points to the customary indenture.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
For real, right? Like, who are these guys? Who the hell are these guys? Hey, I can't wait for the day of atonement either, says it's time, it's tired. I know. At times it's tired. I know. I mean, like, hold on. I want to say it again. Bruh. Like,
Wait a minute.
who
are you?
Who are these people? Who are these Canaanites, man? Who are you Phoenicians? Like, yo, you guys are some slick ricksters. For real. On the contrary, the evidence clearly points to the customary indenture. For Virginia archive shows that throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, okay, late 1600s, all right, Negros were being released at the end of their period of indenture. Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, family. Come on, like for real. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I mean? Like for real, yo. For real. For real. For real, yo. For real. Like for I can't get over. Like seriously. Let me see what your brothers have here. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see this one.
I love my culture too. You guys will never see me.
Oh yeah. Let's listen to this real quick. I'm gonna interject. Well, let me hold on to it. Remind me, brother. Remind me, okay? Remind me, because I don't want to forget your videos, bro. I thank you for sending me this. But it's in reality, it's all here. Is all literally here. I mean, I find it just kind of like the whole supersonic. Hold on, let me hide this back. Give me a second. Keep you guys privacy and stuff. All right, so we got that right there. Okay, so we know that there were indentured servants being released at the end of their terms. That was from a book called the Virginia, the Old Dominion. Okay. Africa's gift to America. I showed y'all this before. Let's go through it quickly. I know you guys can't probably see. Yeah, you can. It says here, look, first Africans, not slaves. Okay. Hold on. Whew. Strong documentary proof that the first Africans in America were not, I repeat, were not slaves. And that chattel slavery of them did not, I repeat, did not start until 1659. Hold on a second. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. What year is 1619, 1611, 1700, 1800, 1865, 1964? What year do y'all want to justify who you are, to justify the way you are? Which year? 1492? 1619? 1659? 1661? 1776? What? Which one? 1846? 1848 when y'all took our lands? Which one? 1865? Oh, I'm sorry. What's 1964 or 1968? Which one would you need to continue to justify your actions that can't seem to progress? You want to know why you can't seem to progress? Because you've been cursed. The Most High said you'll never come back to your position of power. I know that's what you guys want. But see, I know who you are. Let's continue. Russell, in his chapter, Origin of the Free Negro Class, calls the belief that the first Negroes were slaves a popular error maintained and supported by a large number of writers. So you wonder, why aren't they talking about it? It says the evidence clearly points to the customary indentured for Virginia archives show that throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, just like it was confirmed, Negroes were being released at the end of the period of indenture, confirming Virginia, the Old Dominion. Then it says the common belief, this is by standard, that all Negroes brought to Virginia in the early period were slaves is an error. Do you see that? It says here, let me do it in a little sound, right? Hold on. It says here, the common belief that all Negroes brought to Virginia in the earlier period were slaves is an error. I want that to stand out. Virginia's First Century, page 159, 1928. Helen Catherall, in Judicial Cases, which I showed y'all, concerning American slavery and the Negro, a Carnegie Institution publication gives instances of the first Negro serving for only a number of years, indentured servants. One is a court order of September 1625. Watch this real quick. Two of the most notorious, these are slavers, black slavers, okay? Two of the most notorious, Norbert da Sousa and John Orman, were mulattoes with Christian rearing. de Sousa, Prince of Slaves, better known as Cha-Cha, was born in Brazil. John Orman had been educated in England. Give me a second. Had been educated in England. The Salsa lived in a palace in the Homi like a Maharaja. He had a harem drawn from many parts of the world. Captain Drake, American slave dealer, said that Cha-Cha offered him the pick of them. You shall have French, Spanish, Greek, Circassian, English, Dutch, Italian, Asiatic, American, or any other kind. Huh? You see that, family? There was other people too, right? And this is not a white guy. This guy right here. This is another guy, most notorious of the slave raiders. Reparations, huh? My ass. Watch this. I'm going to read this to y'all. This is crazy. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Watch what it says. This is from the same book. I don't know, page, whatever. On this side of the Atlantic was Zephaniah Kingsley, 1765, 1843, of Florida, which was taken by Narvaez, who is African, with his East African Negro wife. Both made an immense fortune from smuggling slaves. Both were black. Kingsley, who was related to Whistler's mother, was not only the richest man in Florida, but one of the richest in America and a powerful political figure. His ships, black men's ships, with a black woman, brought in many thousands of Negroes bought at $25 each in Africa and sold in America. So now, fam, I'm going to pause real quick. How do you determine reparations if your own people that look like you enslave your asses too? You can't sit here and blame the white man now. I know for a fact we didn't do that shit. But I know for a fact that a lot of these quote, quote, Negroes were not Africans. They were our gente. Okay? Don't get hijacked and sold in America and the West Indies for $1,500. Once when U.S. Coast Guard captured 350 contraband blacks on Kingsley's ship, the government, not knowing what to do with them, turned them back to him. Kind of like the movie Amistad, but with a good ending. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. I need you guys to pay attention to this. Watch this real quick. And I know that this is hurting you, a lot of you Hispanic brothers and sisters, so-called, that are really holding on to that, trope chart, and you're like, that's my brother. I had friends that were white too, man. I had to let that shit go. What you want me to do? Because watch this. This is the type of spirit that we're talking about. See, we know that there is black conquistadors and white conquistadors all over the Americas, not just in the North. And look how they treated the slaves. Negro masters in the South weren't any kinder to their slaves than were the whites. Some had the reputation of being worse. They had fought with the Confederacy to hold them and were bitter at their loss. You see that? When Abraham Lincoln passed that law, which says, is there a link to that book? Just today, the book came to mind that I had also purchased, but if a link, I can start with that. Of this one, it's this book here, Africa's Gift to America. You can actually find it on archive.org and borrow it if you want to download some pages. But you can see here, man, the veracity of these people. It wasn't just white folks, fam. They fought with the Confederacy to hold them and were bitter at their loss, meaning that some of these guys, black, that owned slaves, would send letters to Mexico when they abolished slavery and demanding the slaves back. So Mexico wasn't only denying slaves to go back to slavers that were white, but also slavers that were black. They fought along the white man for this land. After 1846, That's when your downfall began. And I'm going to prove it in another class. When William Lloyd Garrison felicitated a Negro slaveholder in Charleston, South Carolina, over the emancipation, he replied, "What happy at the freeing of me niggas?" I guess that's how he said it. Watch this. Remember, he said that there was people here that weren't happy, right? They weren't any kinder to their slaves. They fought the Confederacy to hold them and were bitter against their loss, right? Watch this. Black slave owners, page 18. It says here. Can you guys read it? Yes, you can. Watch what it says. On January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, thus initiating the legal process to free the slaves in the rebellion southern states and eventually to eliminate chattel slavery in North America. The ramifications of Lincoln's proclamation affected not only thousands of white slave masters, but hundreds of black slave holders. Okay, it's a late one, but I'm gonna say it anyways. What's up with this 1619 so-called, that they want to teach that black people were enslaved by white folks? Why come you don't teach this in your books? Why weren't we taught this? In Charleston City, for example, there were 91 free black masters who owned 268 slaves when President Lincoln signed that historic document. Upon the conclusion of the Civil War, more than 75 black masters in that city were instructed to free their slaves, who numbered 241 bondsmen. The number of black slave owners during the war years was a fraction of the total slaveholding community of Afro-Americans all over the slavery years in South Carolina. Look at that. You can continue reading and it just shows. Can't get away with the lies. Watch this. Page 19. By 1840, however, the community of black slavers were beginning to suffer a decline. Between 1840 and 1850, which they say they were enslaved, the community of Afro-American slave owners decreased by 34.5%. Most of the reduction occurred in Charleston district, where the majority of the colored slave owners lived. The largest losses appeared within the community of Charleston Neck, but the number of colored slave owners decreased by nearly 120 masters, leaving only 58 slave holders in 1850, even then. So as you can see, in 1850, these people were in power, right? Black folks. But check it. What year did they go to war in Mexico? 1846. It wasn't just a white man, fam. It wasn't just a white man. And I know that some of you brothers are leaving because you're busy, and some of you guys are sticking around because you do care. Some of you guys are leaving because you're butt hurt. Well, I'm glad that you're leaving because you're butt hurt, because I know that you'll come back. But if you're leaving because you have things to do, all praises. Get to doing it. We're almost there. Now, we talked about people here, right? This is what I mean, fam. This is what I mean. Indentured servants here. Who were they? That was them. Who was a real perpetual slave? That was us, fam. Indian slavery in colonial America. Let's read. Watch what it says. It says, these Indians were not indentured servants, paragraph 2. Like Rawlinson's boy, Indians served masters not for 4 years or 7 years, but until they died, no matter how many years that might be. Indisputably, and by 1661, which was the year they passed Partus Sequetus Ventrum, at the latest, Indians could be and were lifelong servants, judging from the deeds and wills of the 1640s through the 1660s. Indian servitude was generally something more than lifelong service. The children of Indian servants were also servants for life, born into the condition. Moreover, Virginia did not limit enslavement only to Indians captured from distant Spanish territory by dubious allies or reputable traders. Virginia, after decades of struggling for survival from 1607 until the late 1640s, was stabilizing growing increasingly more powerful and secure. Still, there were occasionally threats to security by the late 1650s and early 60s, with trade opportunity to expanding and contact with distant tribes increasing. Rather than hindering the limits of slavery, armed conflict between colonists and natives provided justification for and rationalization of slavery of our gente. Check this out, fam. In case you guys don't know what partes quartes venture means, okay, this is what it means, all right?
A common characteristic for the first illustrious so-called African Americans to rise into prominence was a melanin deficient parent, in most cases, a father. This outcome was mostly a result of Virginia colonial slave statute, partus sequitur ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman will always remain enslaved. This law gave planters and free white men in general carte blanche authority to impregnate captured women without having to so much as even claim responsibility for their mixed race children. Just as common, these children were sold on the mulatto maid market as house niggas for an added sticker price as compared to their darker skinned counterparts. In this aspect, Virginia colonial law was totally contradictory to English common law, which states that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law, extending from the earlier Virginia codes, was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence, and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free and were counted among free people of color. White men were freely allowed to abandon or kill their children without recourse.
How convenient that he threw that one in there for them, huh? Anyways, let's go. Those are the facts, fam. We were the real perpetual slaves. Now, I've been waiting to show you this. Check this out. This is going to hurt somebody. This is from the Columbian Exchange. I need y'all to pay attention to this, okay? Remember, this is what happened to us. Deuteronomy 28. It says here. 22. And the Lord shall smite thee with consumption, and with the fever, and with inflammation, and with an extreme burning. Watch this. The Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. Watch. Where's the other one? I think it's 50 something. 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Now remember, in 2 Ezra 3, it talks about like the horror that they go through when the Most High sent his punishment. Hold on. I think it's this. No, is it one of these? I can't remember which one, to be honest, but it talks about, where is it, 6? It talks about how it explains and gives you how the Most High just mentally destroyed them. You could hear people crying and yelling and screaming. So just imagine that. Well, check this out. See, we thought that smallpox came only by blankets. And you see, family, this is why the Most High said, if we don't get rid of them, they're going to be a thorn in our flesh. That's why Judges 3 is in here, right? That's why the Most High kept us away from them. Because this is what happens. Watch this. Page 48. Let's read. With the man of Narvaez had come a black man suffering from smallpox, and he infected the household in Sempoala, where he was quartered, and it spread from one Indian to another. And they, being so numerous, and eating and sleeping together, quickly infected the whole country. The Mexicans had never seen smallpox before and did not have even the European meager knowledge of how to deal with it. The old soldier chronicler, Bernal Diaz of Castillo, called the negro, listen to this, the very black dose for Mexico, for it was because of him that the whole country was stricken with a great many deaths. Damn. Wow. Are you serious? Are you telling me
Wait a minute.
that it was a
Who are
Phoenician
you?
Canaanite that decimated Mexico, brothers? Is this what this book is telling us? Yes, this is what this book is telling us. It says that Narvaez, who was a black conquistador as well, had come a black man suffering from smallpox. So one of his people had smallpox. They quarantined him, put him with the Indians. All right. So when they put him with the Indians, he infected one. Since we never dealt with this stuff, right? It says Bernal Diaz del Castillo called the negro a very black dose, for it was because of him that the whole country was stricken with a great many death. Wow, man. That's heavy stuff right there. Let me read the bottom. It says here where it's underlined. Had there been no epidemic, the Aztecs, their war-making potential unimpaired, and their warrior fired with victory, could have pursued the Spaniards, and Cortez might have ended his life spirit-eagled beneath the obsidian blade of a priest of Huitzilopochtli. Clearly, the epidemic sapped the endurance of Tenochtitlan. You know what I'm saying? Let me see which I got. No, I don't got that one. I mean, this one. No, I got that one. No, I need to do some more. This is just crazy. Probably several diseases were at work. Shortly after the retreat from Tenochtitlan, Bernal Diaz, immune to the smallpox like most of the Spaniards, was very sick with fever and was vomiting blood. So now, you brothers and sisters that are in these camps, this is why when you read the golden age of the Moors, you see Habakkuk 1 and 5 there. But more importantly, fam, this is why this spirit of them is coming out. Look, this is them. They're not our people. They're not. They hate the living guts out of our gente who is just simply trying to make it in this world. All we're trying to do is just make it in this world. Watch this.
In the continuous and blatant disregard for the safety and overall quality of life of black residents, as many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
That's one. Watch this too.
Are mad as hell and they ain't gonna take it no more. And I cannot say that I blame them. So last week, city officials met with people in South Shore, Chicago, to tell them that more asylum seekers will be moved to their neighborhood. Specifically, there's an abandoned school that they want to turn into like a shelter to house what they say is like 200 to 300 immigrants that come into Chicago per day, right? But again, the black people, which is predominantly black on the south side of Chicago, says, nah, we don't want them here. In fact, some of them were saying, build the wall 2024.
See, fam? Where y'all at? Where are you brothers out there? You Mashiach guys, or you do of this continent that are supporting these people. Why don't you come to my channel and tell me why I'm wrong? Build a wall. Do you want to know? Watch. Watch this. Show you this. Where's this at? Where's this at? Give me a second, okay? I'm gonna show you.
Why settle for low yields when you can earn 9% annually divided into convenient monthly payments?
Who's standing behind him? Don't leave. Don't leave yet. Who's standing behind this guy?
This is one of the country's biggest political issues.
And Florida's governor has made it one of his as well. Today he signed a
Let's
sweeping
watch.
immigration bill into law. Glenna Milberg is in the newsroom with a look.
And it's one of the state's most controversial new laws. No doubt it will affect families and industries right here in South Florida. It even got a response from the Biden administration late today, calling it the governor's political stunt.
All right, here we go, guys.
Who's standing behind him, family? What shades do you see there? Florida was one of the first places they took. Florida was actually conquered by a black man, not a Baez. Europeans were not just white people. And you brothers, you brothers that are in these camps, Ezekiel, I don't even care about the other guys anymore, man. But Ezekiel, if you hear this, if you're watching my channel, if you ever do, brother, all you gotta do is call, man. I made the mistake as well. But they're showing us who they truly are, fam. They always have. Since 1492, they were never on our side. Let's not forget how these people have lands. These people in this picture do not belong to this continent. How do they have lands? So they're not our brothers or sisters. Don't let Nate the Snake convince y'all, because he rides on horses and shit. I'm telling you, that demon has something coming to him. Mark my words. The Most High is going. Mark my words, fam. I can sense it. It's going to put an embarrassing thing upon these people. Because the Most High obviously had me walk through those rooms. My intent wasn't to cause division. I really am repenting. But apparently, he wanted me to walk through those rooms so then I could really see and experience the spirit that they carry. This is not far-fetched, fam. Look, watch. This is who they are. Let's stop playing games. Look.
During the buyout, I was connected to a vendor in Oakland that told me he had a video of an attack that happened, but when he called the cops, nothing happened. So this just goes to show that a lot of vendors go through a lot and sometimes don't even report it or let anyone know. So he asked me for help.
Remember what you just did to me. Hey. Bitch, you just hit me, right?
Hey, take it easy.
You just hit me, right? You just hit me, right? You just hit me, right?
Can you please come
I'm gonna kill you, bitch.
I hope this Canaanite gets what she deserves, man. I hope she gets stomped, I'll praise to the Most High that I hope you get what you deserve. This is somebody without a Bible, okay? So just don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. The setup. The cheap, disgusting ways of Esau. Instead of giving our lands back and get the step. Yep, no joke. But watch this. It's not over yet. She's just being Canaan. But even with the Bible, fam, even with the Bible, they really show who they are. So far, I think we've gone through a lot today. I'm about to finish pretty soon, but I want to show you this real quick. With or without the Bible, these heathens show us who they are. Listen, brothers, if you guys have children and they're listening, you may want to tell them to leave because this guy's about to insult somebody. So, yeah, I will, sis. I will. Let me see. But check this out. Check this out. Okay. Before I play this, let me continue.
And just basically they can't come here because they said y'all want to allocate all of that money to help immigrants, but what about the people here? Now they also said that they were told when Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who is leaving, got into office that they would entertain turning that school into some sort of a youth center. So they're like, we want that for us. Also,
you believe that? Can you believe that because of lack of parenting, they lose a school? Now they want it to be for some kind of boys and girls club for pastime, so they can play what, basketball, where you got people that actually need a home. And by the way, the people that are coming, they do work, unlike you guys. Yeah, it ain't stereotype, man. You guys told us to judge nations as nations, so we're judging you as who you are. We know that we are the hardest working people in this world. We know who the laziest people in this world are. So you make it make sense.
Right now, you can get 100 hit loops for only $1. That's right. This is the craziest deal in history. 100 hit loops.
There's like less than 20 people working today. Usually there's about 100. And it's really interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to get this project done without undocumented workers.
And now at 5, South Florida immigration activists are pushing back on Florida's newest controversial bill, which targets illegal immigration. They're warning that the legislation is creating fear in communities.
Estoy aquí en el aeropuerto de Miami, y dicen que ahora con la nueva ley que se va a poner feo. Pero me imagino que va a ser de los restaurantes, de todos los restaurantes. Y así ahorita les voy a poner el ejemplo. Aquí están 3 morenitas despachando. Yo pedí una hamburguesa y 2 órdenes de papas. Y una hamburguesa. Ahora imagínense cuando aprueben esa nueva ley que quieren hacer aquí en Florida, raza, todos los... Pero bueno, saludos.
Miren, señores, una sola persona que ha quedado ahí, ¿ve? El único americano que ha quedado en este lugar.
¿En serio?
Miren, solo una persona trabajando en ese techo, ¿ve? ¿Qué van a hacer acá los americanos sin nosotros? Miren, para que miren.
Ay, hay otro.
Ahí está mi gente, viernes 5 de mayo, viernes vacío aquí, no hay trabajadores, venimos a...
It's a good way to earn reparations, isn't it? Well, let's go. Now, let's go back to this. With or without the Bible, they show who they are. So stop believing these camps. Stop thinking that these people have the best interest for us. Because they don't, fam. They truly, truly don't. This is a man that says he knows the Bible. This is a man that says he cares about our gente. This is a young boy, I think, then in this case, that if he saw a black woman, he wouldn't call her, hey, you bitch. Get the F out of here, you bitch. I'm going to show you. No, but because she is a so-called Hispanic, an elder sister of ours, he couldn't feel free to say shit. And nobody around him said anything. They laughed. Let's go.
Cállate la boca, pendeja. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca. Vamos, güey. Vamos, güey, pendeja. Vamos, güey, puta. Vamos, güey, puta. Number chapter 15, where it's a free country. If we your country, now it's the white man's country. Don't sound free to me. Pinche idiota, vamos, güey. Vamos. Hey, any of you on my time. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca, pendeja. Cállate la boca. Cállate la boca. Vamos, güey. Vamos, güey, pendeja. Vamos, güey, puta.
See that? If she was a black woman, would he say that? Shut the fuck up. I'm going to say how he said it. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Stupid ass. Bitch. Shut your mouth, stupid ass bitch. That's what he said to her. And look at this idiot right here. Look at this idiot. He's just smiling. With or without the Bible, they show who they are.
Numbers chapter 15, where it's a free country. If we your country, now it's the white man's country. Don't sound free to me. Pinche idiota, vamos, güey. Vamos. Hey, any of you on my timeline rooting for that punk white one, what the f*** you thought was gonna happen? There are people that pack in the churches every Sunday to worship this white boy. We know that they're not true believers in the Most High. Freedom. Right, and the men and women and child are a bunch of devils. That's right. The white woman and that white god child is the devil. You're a god devil, that's what. You god cave dog.
I believe his mom is white. So I guess it is what it is. I think it's this one here I wanted to see last. No. Let me see, is this one? I mean, I got a couple scriptures and that's it, fam. Let's see what this says here.
Se quedan sin trabajadores por culpa.
Yeah, let's finish it with this. And then I got a couple scriptures. Matter of fact, let me read the scriptures first. Let me read the scriptures first because oh man, it just reminds me. This is so beautiful. Yes, it says Obadiah is coming true. Obadiah is coming true. But keep this in mind. Joel 3:1 says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, while I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people." Pleading meaning not talking to y'all. You're going to destroy and kick your asses. "And for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have ye to do, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because thou hast taken my silver and my gold and carried unto your temples my godly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders." And are you guys not doing that together with The Grecians? Are you not doing that together with the Grecians? Remember the Most High, what he said. Nahum 3:1, woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. This bloody city took axes, guns, swords, plagues, dogs, guns, cannons. It's a bloody city. The noise of a whip and the noise of rattling of the wheels and the praising of horses and of the jumping of chariots. The horsemen lift up both the right sword and the glittering spear. There is a multitude of slain, a great number of carcasses, and there is none, and of their corpse they stumble upon their corpses. Family, this is real history here happening again. Because of the multitude of thy whoredoms, of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Is this not true? Look, I'm gonna finish it with this video, fam. Watch. Let me show you this real quick. Remember, family, there's a way where things are being happening now, and it's attacking certain people. You're gonna see our gente walking by these guys. Check it out.
It's a normal afternoon on the doorstep of San Francisco's main government building, a snapshot of America's fentanyl crisis. It doesn't just look stark. An average of one person every 10 hours dies in this city of a fentanyl overdose. It's often here in the drug-ravaged Tenderloin district.
See our gente walking by them? Because once, you guys don't know this, man, but people are waking up, fam. We're just not being boastful like other people. Listen, this happened to us. Now it's happening to them. Deuteronomy 28:29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. But remember, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. Are they not like that? They don't know what they're doing. This is our people. That was our suffering. As we see our people suffer, we also see the punishment towards the other nations. All praises to the Most High.
Are you a fentanyl user?
Absolutely. I've been an opiate addict for probably 10 years.
Trevor used to inject heroin, but fentanyl, he says, is a different beast, and he wants everyone to know.
I mean, the fact that this isn't a main issue, I mean, on TV every night is insane to us. I've never seen anything like it. I'll meet regular people, square Joes, on their way to work, and they'll stop, hang out with me, try this drug for the first time, and then leave their life. Literally, not leave. From that moment on, they're just out here with us.
You see that?
Is that what fentanyl does?
To some people, it's insane. I've never seen anything like it. No one has.
What's it doing to the streets?
Man, I mean,
Hey, family, and some of y'all can actually agree to this. Some brothers that are listening in the 1990s, because that's where I grew up, right? Late 80s, early 90s. A lot of our brothers and sisters were like this on heroin. It was bad. I know a brother that overdosed twice. He didn't die. I don't know if he's alive now. I have a lot of friends that died of alcohol. We were groping at noonday like the blind groping in darkness, and they used to tell us, just say the hell no. And I'm gonna tell you something, fam. You want to know why these so-called Americans of a darker shade? Want to know why they want reparations? It's because they want money for the slaves that they technically lost. That's really what it comes down to. I was talking to somebody about that. I think that's what they want. It's like when the slave owner lost his slaves, he had to get, recompense for that. Maybe that's what's going on. But the recompense of the Most High right here, Joel just told us, will you recompense me in time? Speedily and swiftly? I don't think so.
Turning everybody into, a crazy, violent drug addict.
We're doing an interview. I know, but do that somewhere else. Y'all smoking crack right here, and there's a daycare right there.
We're interrupted by private security, asking them to move out of the view of a nursery. This is a city divided on how to deal with the scourge of drugs. Some want the streets swept. Others prefer a more compassionate, health-based approach.
No one wants to end up with a manslaughter charge because someone dies from their product.
Jeff is a former drug dealer and says testing is the answer.
2 stripes would be a negative result. One stripe would be a positive result. Yep. So there's that second line showing up right now.
Simple strip tests are now being used by dealers and users to check for fentanyl. It sometimes contaminates other drug supplies like cocaine.
I know you work with one of the largest Mexican street gangs helping.
This is them drinking the cup. Watch. Give me a second. Watch, I think it's this one. Let's see, I'll read it. There it goes. Revelation 18:1, it says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils." What the man? Isn't it true? "And the hold of every foul spirit, in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird, as every damn nastiness you can imagine. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people." That's why I'm here telling y'all, "that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." This is one of them. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God had remembered her iniquity. Reward her even as she rewarded you. Double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she had filled to her double."
Test their cocaine to make sure it doesn't have fentanyl in it or traces of fentanyl in it. How does that work?
If customers start to notice that people are dying from a batch of cocaine, and that the autopsy results are showing that it's because of an opioid overdose, no one's buying that cocaine anymore. I mean, it just doesn't make financial sense to kill your customer base.
Across town, beside a homeless...
Do you see that? It makes no sense to kill the user. So there's something else in hand. Remember the scripture, I kill, I make live, I wound, I heal. Deuteronomy 32. Let's go.
Encampment, a charity has set up. They hand out clean syringes and overdose reversal treatments.
How has fentanyl transformed your home?
People are dying. A lot more people are dying. And it's in a lot of the drug supply, and people are doing it without knowing they're doing it. And it's made substance use horrifyingly deadly.
It's difficult to believe at times that this is one of America's great historic cities, home to more billionaires than anywhere on earth. This is 2 streets from the headquarters of Twitter, but it's an open-air drug market. It is a tragedy with no easy resolution.
See that, fam? But remember what happened to us. Remember. The Columbian Exchange, page 48. "With the man of Narvaez had come a black man suffering from smallpox, and he infected the household of Sempoala, where he was quartered, and it spread from one Indian to another, and they, being so numerous and eating and sleeping together, quickly infected the whole country. The Mexicans had never seen smallpox before and did not have even the European meager knowledge of how to deal with it. The old soldier chronicler, Bernal Diaz del Castillo, called the Negro, the one that infected all of Mexico, a very black dose, for it was because of him, I repeat, because of him, that the whole country was stricken with a great many deaths." Man, I can't even go any further than that, fam. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I mean, you either wake the hell up or you stay in those rooms and die straight up. Because look,
Nos están huyendo de Florida. Podemos ver cómo miles de personas corren a otro estado y los lugares se quedan sin trabajadores por culpa de esta ley. Según el documento presentado ante el Senado por parte del gobernador republicano de Florida,
it's fallen, family. It's really happening now.
Ron DeSantis, los gobiernos locales y condados tendrán prohibido destinar fondos para aquellos migrantes que se encuentren en situación irregular en el estado. Pero
It's pretty crazy. All right, so let me go ahead and finish it with this real quick here. So we got that, we got that, we got that. I'm gonna show this video for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Hold on, let me a second. It's just to remind y'all, and to be on the same page of who Christopher Columbus was and who came with him. Okay, and it was no joke. All right, so let's listen in. It's about 5 minutes long. Come on, man. Hold on, family. Oh, my damn the mouse is acting stupid now. All right, I'm gonna finish it with this, and then it's gonna be 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna finish the class. All right, so family, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you guys for watching. Again, I'm not done. It's gonna be 5 minutes, but watch the ending. But I'm just shaloming y'all because I'm gonna finish it when it's done. Okay, I'll put a song, and then I'll do the ending, and we're good. Lord willing, you guys enjoyed the class. It was edifying. I appreciate y'all listening to the first part. Actually, if I were you, just try to listen to the beginning, man. You know, it was a pretty good experience today, and I was able to bring some scriptures out. All right. Anyways, shalom, family. We'll see you soon again. Hold on. There it goes.
Well, this arises from the fact, principally from the fact that Christopher Columbus, above all else, was a slaver. And according to the Spanish Jesuit writer, not Jesuit writer, excuse me, but the Spanish writer Bartolomé de las Casas, who is the principal author of, that gives us the information from Columbus's diaries, Columbus chose to finance the conquest of the West Indies by selling Native American slaves. And he characterized it as his granjeria, or granary. In other words, it was the granary that was going to pay for the conquest, that is, Native American bodies. And Columbus himself sent at least 3,000 and possibly as many as 6,000 or more Native American slaves to Europe. This begins as early as 1493. On his return voyage, he takes about 24 Native Americans to Portugal and Spain. In the subsequent voyages, many, many more are sent, men and women. Now, he intends to sell them by the thousands, not only in Spain, but he mentions the Azores, the Canary Islands, the Cape Verde Islands off, the west coast of Africa, as well as in Portugal and Spain and elsewhere. So even before there are any appreciable number of African slaves being sent to the Americas, there are Native American slaves being sent to Europe, principally probably ending up in Lisbon and Seville, or Sevilla in southern Spain, but also being transshipped to Valencia and many other cities. Now, at the same time that that's happening, there are large numbers of African slaves being sent northward to the same cities. And in fact, as far as black Africans are concerned, they've been being sent northward since approximately the 1440s, 1450s to those cities. There are also, I might add, large numbers of white and brown Muslim slaves from North Africa, and white and Asiatic slaves from the Baltic also being shipped in by the Turks and Venetians, principally. So that throughout this western Mediterranean area, you really have a cosmopolitan scene in these cities, and to some extent in the rural areas as well. So it's in these cities where large numbers of black Africans and substantial numbers of Native Americans meet, undoubtedly intermingle, and become part, eventually, of the urban populations of these cities and others.
Now, they were slaves. What were they doing? What tasks were they performing?
Well, that needs to be studied in greater detail. We do know that some were engaged in agricultural labor. We do know that some were apprenticed to craftspeople. And unlike the slavery that developed in the Americas, it was, at least in Spain, primarily a slavery where there would be very small numbers of slaves employed by a few individuals, not huge plantation-type slavery. So I would imagine that almost any type of craft you can think of, almost any type of job. In Lisbon, for instance, we know that the slaves were allowed to, in their spare time, sell water. And there were particular spots along the river in Lisbon where certain kinds of slaves were given the exclusive right to get water. For example, the Moorish slaves from North Africa had one section of the river, men. And then the Native Americans and Africans and females and males had other sections of the river that they could get water.
Were allocated to them?
That were allocated to them. And this was so that they could make a little extra money. They had the right to make money in their spare time. And they'd sell their water in different parts of Lisbon and do other odds and ends. They also, in Seville, they had a captain general who was in charge of the slaves and of the free people of color in Sevilla. He was an African of royal blood who was named the governor and captain general of, as they say, all the negros y loros in Sevilla, that is, of all the blacks and brown people in Sevilla. And they had their own rules over weddings and other kinds of things. So it's a little bit different from slavery as it develops in the United States.
Okay. Now, when people think of American slavery, they don't think of the enslavement of
Every day I make around $10,000 and it's all online. It's actually looking to get into real estate. Let me...
Yeah, man! This is 4 Elements. All right. The gangsters of the soul, motherfuckers. Cypher, volumen 1. He sentido miedo por verme desolado. He tocado el cielo por teneros a mi lado. He dicho te quiero a quien me ha traicionado. Pero nunca he sido malo, eso lo tengo bien demostrado. Muévelo, bailalo, el sonido tómalo. Cántalo y con tus amigas gózalo. Body, 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 así que apréndelo. Estamos envueltos en llamas, DJ, gózalo. Hey, nego, track over track in a mid-up bomba. But don't stop it, reggae up, a nigga coming to the top. All of them, fire burn them for the club. Keon in the area is the only general. Track over track in a mid-up bomba. But don't stop it, reggae up, a nigga coming to the top. All of them, fire burn them for the club. 4 Element is the only general.
No pueden competir contra esta fiera. Tan distraído, me vi mordiendo las barreras. Sufre menos quien nada espera. Aprendí mirándome, empecé a buscar ahí fuera. Analiza menos, soy cualquiera. Guardo mis demonios, lloraría si los vieras. Pero los tengo bajo llave. Quizá conversemos durante la noche, ellos tengan la clave para escapar de mí mismo cuando no puedo salir y me precipito al abismo del fatalismo. Todo se torna tan negro que cuando veo la luz resulta ser solo otro espejismo. Fui noqueado, caí como un titán dormido, al fin me he levantado y todo es caos. He estado distraído, persiguiendo sueños que eran bajo arena, olvido. Ey, no quiero dolor, tampoco su ley o su opresión. Yo quiero un skate, decirle adiós. Jamás su sistema nos favoreció. Grité Mayday, nadie me ayudó, ni la policía, ni el rey, ni su Dios. Yo quiero saber dónde se quedó aquel pueblo libre y su revolución. Llegó tu condena, te moverás y romperás los problemas, no es novedad que no verás otra forma de olvidar las penas que queman tu órbita vibracional. No quiero ser normal, tampoco singular, no hay norma que transforme mi moral. Logré quitarme los prejuicios, admito que estoy completamente enamorado de todo género musical.
Con represión la condición es infrahumana, la religión paga con prisión al que nada trama. Piensa en fama, frustrado tumbado en tu cama. Te mojarás si llueves si no te mueves con ganas. Romper ramas por envidia, tu mamá no te deja plantar. Y en guerras en Siria y tú quejándote por no afrontar problemas de mierda, con niñatos de mierda que viven en su burbuja, la cual nunca va a explotar. Nadie es una mentira y en ella tu vida va a acabar. No ves la verdad, en la tele no la vas a encontrar. Tus padres te mienten porque ellos también creyeron.